He used to protect presidents. Marcus Rodriguez had spent 18 years in the Secret Service, responsible for the security of America's highest-ranking officials. He had prevented bombing attempts, stopped assassination plots, and was one of the country's unsung heroes. But when political changes left him without a job, the best position he could find was as a valet at Miami's most luxurious hotel. He was trying to get by on tips, parking Ferraris and Maseratis. No one knew who he really was. But that evening, when he spotted an assassination plot against a Russian billionaire staying at the hotel, his 18 years of protective instincts came roaring back to life. Welcome to the Human Stories. Before we continue this powerful story of honor, sacrifice, and the never-ending mission of protection, tell me in the comments what city you're watching from today. And if you believe stories like this deserve to be heard, hit that subscribe button and help us honor those who served their country but have been forgotten by society. The front entrance of the Ritz-Carlton Miami Beach bustled with its usual evening activity. Luxury cars came and went. World-famous celebrities passed through the hotel's doors. In front of the marble entrance, a 48-year-old man in a Navy uniform stood waiting. Keys in hand, courteous expression on his face, Marcus Rodriguez, the hotel's valet. "Welcome, sir," he would say to each arriving guest. He would take their keys, carefully park their cars, then return to wait for the next customer. On good days, he collected $300, $400 in tips. On bad days, just a thank you. The hotel's other staff called him Marcus. Quiet, reliable, someone who did his job well. Never late, no complaints, didn't try to chat too much with guests. Perfect employee profile, but none of them knew his real story. Marcus Rodriguez's story began in 1995, Secret Service Academy graduate, young and idealistic agent. After his first assignment, he quickly rose through the ranks, selected for special protection details. He was intelligent, disciplined, and most importantly, had natural leadership qualities. In the 2000s, he began serving in America's most elite protection unit, the Presidential Protection Division of the Secret Service. Only the most select personnel were accepted into the unit that protected the nation's most important figures. Marcus served in this unit for 18 years. His assignments were extraordinary, ensuring the security of the President, Vice President, Secretary of State, and other high-ranking officials, accompanying them on domestic and international visits, identifying potential threats in advance, putting his life at risk for people he had never met. His most challenging assignment came in 2016. There was a major diplomatic summit in Washington, D.C. High-level officials from 15 countries were coming. According to intelligence reports, there was an assassination plot targeting the summit. Marcus's team worked for 3 weeks, planning every detail, closing security gaps. The summit day went exactly as planned. But there was one detail that didn't escape Marcus's attention, a new face among the catering staff. Someone who wasn't in the previous security screenings. Marcus followed him, questioned him. The man had managed to enter with fake credentials and was carrying a bomb. That day they had saved the lives of more than 200 people, but this success was never reported in the media. No newspaper wrote about it, because protection work was invisible heroism. But in 2018, everything changed. Political shifts occurred in America. Major changes were made in federal agencies. Many experienced personnel, including Marcus, were reassigned. The official reason was modernization of departments. The real reason was different. The new administration wanted their own trusted people. His 18-year career ended in a single day. He wasn't eligible for full retirement yet, and his severance pay was insufficient. At 48, he was forced to look for work again. He first looked for jobs in the security sector. But private security companies offered low salaries, $4,000 a month. When rent in Miami was $3,500, this money wasn't enough. Also, most jobs were night shifts, and Marcus had a family, his wife Sophia and their 16-year-old daughter Isabella. The job search lasted 6 months. Savings began to dwindle. That's when he saw the valet posting at the Ritz-Carlton. Salary $2,800 plus tips. Total would be $4,500. It wouldn't be enough, but they wouldn't starve. His first day was very difficult. For 18 years, he had protected presidents, and now he was parking their cars. Actually, parking cars for businessmen who were even richer than presidents. It was ironic. But gradually he got used to it. The work hours were good. Most customers were polite. Most importantly, he could spend time with his family. His daughter was preparing for college, and now he could help her. 2 years passed like this. Marcus became known as the quiet, reliable valet. Customers trusted him, handing over their car keys without hesitation. But the habits from his old profession never left him. He observed everyone who came with whom, how long they stayed, what car they left in. He immediately noticed suspicious behavior. This wasn't just professional deformation. It was an 18-year survival instinct. That Thursday evening, everything changed. At 7:30 p.m., a black Mercedes S-Class pulled up to the hotel entrance. The man who got out caught Marcus's attention. Russian accent, expensive suit, but his eyes were constantly scanning the surroundings. Security guard eyes. "Dobry večer," Marcus said to the man in Russian. "Good evening." The man was surprised. "Говорить по-русски? Do you speak Russian?" "Немного," Marcus said. "A little?" The man smiled and gave a generous tip. "Spasibo." Marcus checked the man's hotel registration. Viktor Petrov from Moscow. Room reservation for 3 nights. VIP suite. On the way home that night, he thought. Viktor Petrov seemed familiar. Where had he seen this man? Then he remembered. In 2015, when the Russian delegation came to Washington, he had seen his photo in a security briefing. Viktor Petrov, businessman close to Russian oligarch families, very rich, very powerful, very dangerous. The next day, Viktor came again. This time, Marcus looked more carefully. He had security details, 3 men waiting in the Mercedes. Viktor hurried inside. On the 3rd day, everything changed. When Viktor's Mercedes arrived, Marcus noticed something else. Across the street was a parked black BMW. 2 people inside watching Viktor. These weren't Russian security guards. They were something else. Marcus's 18 years of experience was sounding alarms. This was a surveillance operation, and Viktor wasn't aware of it. That evening, when his shift ended, the BMW was still there. Marcus calmly approached, noted the license plate. Then he looked through the car window. One of the men inside was cleaning a gun. At that moment, everything became clear. Viktor Petrov was going to be assassinated. But what could he do? He was no longer a protection agent. He could call the police, but was suspicion enough? He could warn Viktor, but would a hotel valet be believed? That night at home, he thought. Viktor might be a bad man, might be connected to the Russian mafia, but Marcus's job wasn't to judge good from bad. His job was to protect life. He had lived by this principle for 18 years. The next morning, he arrived at the hotel early. The BMW was there again. This time, there were 3 people inside. Viktor would come that evening, and it would probably be his last visit. At 6 p.m., Viktor's Mercedes appeared. Marcus immediately took action. While opening the car door, he whispered, "Viktor, you're in great danger. Listen to me." Viktor was surprised. "What are you saying?" "They've been watching you for 3 days in the BMW across the street. Armed men, they're going to kill you." Viktor's face changed. He looked at Marcus carefully. "Who are you?" "I was Secret Service Presidential Protection Division for 18 years. Now I'm a valet, but my eyes still work." Viktor understood at that moment. Marcus's gaze, posture, way of speaking. This man really was a protection expert. "What should I do?" "Go into the hotel now. Act normal. I'll get the police here, but stay in your hotel tonight. Don't go out." Viktor went inside. Marcus immediately called the police. His old friend from Miami PD, Detective Williams. "Williams, it's Marcus. Emergency situation." "Marcus, what's happening?" "Assassination plot at the Ritz-Carlton. Armed group in black BMW across the street. Target is Russian businessman Viktor Petrov." "Are you sure?" "I'm telling you with 18 years of experience. Can you come?" 30 minutes later, police arrived. The 3 people in the BMW were taken into custody. Guns, plans, and Viktor's photos were found in their vehicle. That night, Marcus and Viktor talked in the hotel lobby. "You saved my life," Viktor said. "How can I thank you?" "Don't thank me," Marcus said. "This was my job. But you're a valet now." "I may be a valet, but I never stopped being a protector." Before Viktor left the hotel the next day, he found Marcus. "I have an offer for you," he said. "I have a security company in Moscow. I want to open a U.S. branch. You be the director." Marcus was surprised. "Viktor, this is too much." "Too little. You saved my life. $12,000 a month salary, plus bonuses. Bring your family to New York if you want." Marcus thought. Then he smiled. "I won't come to New York, but I can work in Miami." 3 months later, Marcus was the general manager of Petrov Security USA. Now he wore suits, sat in an office, but he still visited the Ritz-Carlton to see his old colleagues. The hotel manager told him, "Mr. Rodriguez, we missed you." "I missed you too, but as you can see, real protectors never stay unemployed." His daughter Isabella had gotten into college. His wife Sophia had started smiling again, but most importantly, Marcus had found himself again. One day while talking with Victor, he had asked, "How did you know they were watching me that night?" "When you do this job for 18 years, Marcus had said, you learn to smell danger, and that smell is never forgotten. So why did you warn me the other day? Maybe I'm a bad man." Because a protection agent's job isn't to judge, but to protect. Whether you're good or bad, no one has the right to threaten your life. Victor had laughed. "That's why you're the best." Now, 2 photos hang on Marcus's office wall, one from his Secret Service days, the other taken with Victor. There are 20 years between them, but the same smile on his face, the peace of a man doing his duty. The transformation didn't stop there. Within a year of establishing Petrov Security USA, Marcus had built it into one of Miami's premier executive protection services. His reputation in the industry grew quickly. Former Secret Service agents vouched for his expertise, and wealthy clients appreciated his discretion and professionalism. Marcus found himself protecting tech billionaires, foreign diplomats, and entertainment industry moguls. Each assignment reminded him why he had loved this work in the first place. It wasn't about the prestige or the adrenaline. It was about standing between danger and innocent people. 6 months after the Victor incident, Marcus received a call that would bring his story full circle. It was from the Secret Service's Miami field office. They were looking for a consultant to help train new agents in threat assessment and protective intelligence. "Agent Rodriguez," the voice on the phone said, "we've heard about your work in the private sector. We could use your expertise." Marcus smiled. "I'm not Agent Rodriguez anymore, but I'd be honored to help." The irony wasn't lost on him. The same government that had let him go was now asking for his help. But Marcus harbored no bitterness. He understood that institutions change, but principles remain constant. During his first training session with new Secret Service recruits, Marcus shared the lesson that had shaped his entire career. Your job isn't to judge who deserves protection. Your job is to protect. The moment you start deciding who's worth saving is the moment you stop being a protector. One young agent raised her hand. "Sir, what if you disagree with the person you're protecting?" Marcus thought of Victor, of all the politicians he'd protected over the years, of the difficult decisions that came with the job. "Agent," he said, "the Constitution doesn't ask for your opinion, it asks for your service." Isabella graduated from college with honors and announced her intention to join the FBI. "Dad," she said, "I want to protect people like you did." Sophia had worried about her daughter following in her father's dangerous footsteps, but Marcus supported Isabella's decision. "The world needs protectors," he told his wife, "and she's learned from the best." On the day Isabella graduated from the FBI Academy at Quantico, Marcus sat in the audience wearing the same proud expression he'd worn at his own Secret Service graduation ceremony decades earlier. Some legacies, he realized, weren't about titles or positions. They were about values passed from one generation to the next. Victor remained a loyal friend and client. His business ventures in the United States required constant security assessment, and he trusted no one but Marcus to oversee his protection. "You know what I appreciate most about you?" Victor told Marcus during one of their quarterly reviews. "You saved my life before you knew it would benefit you. That's the mark of a true protector." Years later, when journalists asked Marcus about his career transition from the White House to Hotel Valet to private security, he always gave the same answer. "I never changed careers. I've always been in the protection business. Sometimes I protected presidents. Sometimes I parked cars. Now I protect clients. But the mission never changed." The Ritz-Carlton still held a special place in Marcus's heart. He would often stop by, not as the former valet, but as a guest meeting clients. The current valet staff knew his story and treated him with the respect due to someone who had never forgotten where he came from. "Mr. Rodriguez," the new head valet said during one visit, "the staff talks about you all the time. You're legendary around here." Marcus chuckled. "I just did my job. Whether you're protecting the president or parking a Bentley, the principle is the same. Treat every assignment with respect and professionalism." As Marcus walked through the hotel lobby that day, past the marble floors where he'd once stood in a valet uniform, he reflected on the journey that had brought him here. He had learned that dignity wasn't about the uniform you wore or the title on your business card. It was about how you carried yourself when life tested your character. So now I ask you, have you ever met someone whose status changed but whose mission remained the same? Someone who fell down but got back up to serve their community again? Share their story in the comments, because here at The Human Stories, we believe that true protectors never really retire. They just change who they're protecting. Thank you for watching. If this story touched you, subscribe and share it with someone who respects those who dedicated their lives to serving others. We'll see you in the next story. And until then, remember, real heroes may change their uniforms, but they never abandon their mission.